All right, I'm gonna put you on real quick. If you've been stressed out about the prices in Florida, this is one of those homes that you need to see before you make a decision. Going on, it's Joe Denny, your go-to realtor and mortgage broker here in Florida. And today we're out in Ocala, Marion Oaks, checking out a brand new construction home that honestly hits that sweet spot between price, space, and location as well. Before we jump in, scan my VIP buyer list QR code right here on the screen. That's where you're gonna have access to tons of deals, on market, off market, builder incentives, properties before they hit Zillow, and you'll also get my contact information there as well. All right, property overview. 329,900, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2-car garage, just under 1,900 square feet, built in 2026, so everything's brand new, sitting on about a 1/4 acre and no HOA, no CDD. As soon as you walk in, you're gonna notice the open layout. Everything flows together really nicely. The kitchen has highlights, which is the quartz countertops, large island, stainless steel appliances, modern shaker cabinets. And the primary suite is honestly one of my favorite parts. Freestanding soaking tub, dual vanities, glass enclosed shower. You've also got a Jack and Jill bathroom setup, which is perfect if you've got kids or guests. One thing I always tell people is that location matters just as much as the house. From here in Marion Oaks, you're right about 10 to 15 minutes to Publix, Walmart, and local restaurants, around 15 to 20 minutes to Advent Health Ocala. You're close to the parks, trails, and outdoor spots. You're about an hour and a half away to Orlando and Disney. You're roughly an hour and a half to 2 hours away from the beaches. So you're still connected to everything, but without paying those big city prices. This area is growing fast, and that's because of jobs. They've got major employers like Advent Health, HCA Florida, FedEx Distribution, Chewy Fulfillment Center. So when I look at homes like this, I'm not just thinking about today, I'm thinking about where the area is going as well. Let's give you guys the grand tour. All right, you already see super high ceilings, open floor plan, primary suites over here, the rest of the house is over here. What's cool is you have another room hidden back there, tucked away. So let's start opening doors and let's start looking around. First things first, no carpet in the rooms. This room here is the one that has the Jack and Jill setup with the room that's tucked away in the end. Oh, did I forget to mention, you also have this awesome covered lanai back here. So you can enjoy this beautiful Florida weather. Look at that. And that's not AI. That is the sky right now. This is your kitchen. This is your pantry. All right, let's get to my favorite part, which is that primary. So right through here, you're gonna have access to your garage. Right through here, you're gonna have the laundry room. Primary suite, it's not the biggest room. It's an okay size. It's not the craziest. Closet, kind of small. Small bathroom, but it kind of has the essentials. You have your dual sink vanity, you got your privacy with the toilet, you have your shower, and you have the tub. Let's talk numbers, because this is what really matters. At $330,000, this is what it could look like. FHA 3.5% down, you're right around 11,500. Conventional 5% down, 16,500. Conventional 20% down, you're at around $66,000. VA loan, $0 down as far as down payment goes. The seller's actually helping you with up to $5,000 towards your closing costs and prepaids as well if you need some help. Now, here's something that I always break down to my clients in Ocala. The average price for the homes around here are $280,000 to $320,000. The average income is right around $50,000 to $60,000. But if you go closer towards Orlando, like Claremont and Davenport, prices jump to $400,000, but incomes don't increase at the same pace. So sometimes driving a little bit further out actually puts you in a much better financial position to get homes like this. If you're thinking about buying, here's how simple the process actually is. Step one, you reach out to me by calling me, texting me, or scanning the QR code on the screen. We get pre-approved, start your home search, we go see homes, submit an offer, you put down your initial deposit or escrow money deposit, we do your inspections and contingencies, and then you close and get your keys, and I walk you through every step so you're not left guessing. We want a breakdown of the best areas to buy in Florida, price range, and where you can get the most value. I put together a free guide. Just comment the word Ocala and I'll send it right over to you. Also, if you're thinking about moving to the area, make sure you join my Facebook group, Living in Ocala, Florida. Drop the word Facebook and I'll send you an invite. That's where I post homes, off-market deals, and everything happening locally in the area. Since I'm also in the mortgage industry, I wanted to take a few minutes to kind of talk about some down payment assistance options. And I wanted to walk you guys through what the process looks like when you want to put an offer. If you've seen my videos before, you know this is why my videos are a bit longer. I like to break the process down because I do mortgages, the real estate. I'm also a certified mentor at my company, done hundreds of transactions, helped many people. So I like educating people on the process. One of the first things we got to think about is, should you get a down payment assistance program or should you not? There are so many of them available. Some of them have 640 minimum score, 620, 600. Some of them have no minimum FICO score as well. So I have access to all those different programs. The way that it works on the mortgage broker side is you submit an application and there's lenders versus brokers. With lenders, they're trying to get like your business, so they'll pay for your credit up front and they'll just give you coffee at the bank and all that. With brokers, we're shopping around to get you the best deal. So there's not the coffee, there's not a storefront you're gonna go to, because we're trying to get you good deals. There are clients out there who are like, I just want the best deal. Lowest interest rate, lowest closing costs. I don't care who I pay my mortgage to. And then there's clients out there that are super based on name brand. They're like, it has to be Chase, it has to be Bank of America. I don't care if I pay more. You get to decide what bank you want to work with. I'm also in mortgages, so you can send me your estimate and I can try to get you a second opinion. But we have a lot of down payment programs and a lot of incentives as well that we can kind of put together to help you, together with any seller concessions. So we can try to get you a good deal. But let's say you've got the financing figured out, you got the realtor figured out, and it's obviously me. And we're locked in and we're working on seeing houses and everything. And you find one you like. We got to talk about putting an offer together. In the past, there have been many times where the buyers, you know, they had to rush the paperwork part because there's multiple offers, or like they've been searching for a house all this time and one just hit the market and they're ready to put an offer. And they don't take their time going through the contract. That's why I do this part of the video, to kind of show you guys what the breakdown is of what a contract looks like when you're buying a house, so I can answer some questions before they pop up on what this process looks like. So the first thing we got to figure out when we're doing a contract is, who are the parties associated with the sale? Who are the sellers and who are the buyers? That will go in this section over here. Then we got to figure out what personal property comes with the property. So we have the microwave, the range, we have the refrigerator, dishwashers over here. Do they have a washer and dryer? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We got to figure out what personal property is included with the property. and what is excluded from the property. So this is included and this is excluded. In resale homes, I've seen it where it'll be like a ceiling fan, specific light fixture, of a safe in the house, or like a Ring doorbell or something. So it's the seller's agent's job to put in the contract what's being excluded so that there's no surprises later on. We also got to figure out the price and the initial deposit. Whatever price you put, if you're financing, initial deposit is 1% to 10%. The higher percentage you put, the more serious your offer looks. Anything that you put into the initial deposit is protected by what we call contingencies. And there's a few of them that I'm going to go over in the contract. But the higher of deposit, it doesn't mean you're actually giving the seller any more money. So like if you have an offer that you're offering 50K less, but you're putting 50K in deposit, the deposit, the higher it is, the better, but it doesn't mean that you're giving him any more money if you're putting more money up, because it's the offer amount that really matters the most. The deposit and the terms is what helps us make the offer a little bit more attractive if you're trying to get like a better deal. When it comes to facilitating the transaction, the middleman is called a title company or a closing agent. Their information would go here, and that would be the point of contact that would help you figure out the lien search and all the other things that the title company does, like orders the survey. They'll have you sign the paperwork at closing as well. They'll be the ones who basically help you with that. We got to give the seller some time to accept the offer. So we usually give like 2 days, and we want to figure out how many days for closing do you need. Usually 30, 45 days is the norm for the closing. Now, I wanted to talk about something that we call a contingency. You are pre-approved, which means they did an initial credit check, they checked some documents, and they kind of have an idea that what they're seeing so far makes sense, and it could be a deal, it could be a loan, but you're not fully approved yet. To get fully approved, things have to also happen at the property. Like we're gonna need certain things to be inspected, like an appraisal has to happen. That all gets put together to get you what's called your final approval. But in that time frame from the pre-approval to the final approval, there's a protection that you're gonna have, which is called the financing contingency. So that's where we're gonna put a certain number of days so you can get your financing in order. And if something goes wrong, this contingency is what's gonna help you, keep your deposits safe. But if you lie to the lender, or if you're not honest in the process and you hold something back that hurts the deal, then you might want to get a lawyer, because I'm not really a lawyer and I have no control of your deposit. And I've seen it happen where sometimes people withhold information that they've been asked before, like, oh, do you pay child support? No, I don't. And then they do pay child support. They just pay it a different way, and the bank found it through these miscellaneous Zells that are coming out of the account. These bank folks are really good at looking at documents and everything and checking bank statements. They don't really care how much Taco Bell you eat or how much DoorDash you order or anything strange that you do with your money. They just want to build a pattern of like, are there any liabilities that you didn't disclose that are consistently going to come out? So you're not going to add all your fast food orders and count it against you. When it comes to closing costs, we spoke earlier about what down payments look like when you're buying a house, but there's also fees associated, which are called closing costs. I typically estimate anywhere between 3 to 4% of the purchase price. And in most scenarios, we can get the seller to help you with some or all of your closing costs. So I find that it's a good deal if we can get some or all of your closing costs covered. So that's what I'm going to strive for, to get a lot of these things covered by the seller. Now, we want to talk about also your right to cancel or inspection period. Home's new, home's beautiful, home's great. You should still get a home inspection. $300, $400, $500. You want someone in here, third party company, looking for issues. We submit the reports to the seller's construction manager. They fix it. We go on about our way. We get documents saying what the warranty looks like, and we chase down warranty claims later of whatever pops up later. But if it's something that could have been figured out during the home inspection, that could be a deal breaker, or something that's really structurally wrong that you find out later, you can't just return a house. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure you get a thorough home inspection. This here is where we would put how many days you would want for your home inspection. The norm is 5, 7, 10, 15, whatever you want it to be. That's also the amount of days that you have your right to cancel. So like if you wanted to back out, that would be your right to cancel period as well. Now, on page 11, this is where we would add the addenda. The addenda is like miscellaneous documents that we add to kind of enhance the contract. So like an FHA addendum, an appraisal contingency, sale of buyer's home. So for example, if you're watching this and you need to sell your home to buy a home, we have an addendum that we can attach that says, we want your home, but we need to sell our home first. We have a way to do that. So it doesn't have to be perfect where you're gonna be homeless to then buy your home. We can make it one move. We can make it very smooth. And this is the section where we cover all the different addendum that we're gonna use in the transaction. So that's pretty much a breakdown of what to look forward to in the contract. If you guys found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel. And if you guys need help buying a house, just reach out to me directly.